Hey, Laura J, on my way somewhere, as we always are, on this journey through life that I refer to as the sacred sojourn of the soul in Fully Committed, the book that took 5 years for me to write in a month last year, because I finally cut off that which didn't serve so that I could do that which I needed to. Just as I have recently done to be able to narrate and then edit all of that of William Lishman's Father Goose book, that is a journey about the geese migrations and how it also connects to helping in restoring populations of endangered species of birds. And having lived in England, I would also say that we women are often referred to as birds, so I do believe it is about uniting us, not just the women, for men are required too. Absolutely, unquestionably, we must all band together and stand strong as the men and women of these lands that bring forward offspring who will eventually step into leadership positions that we must do our best to actually rectify, for them to be able to step into ones that will serve us all, for we will be the ones that they will oversee. And if we allow the corruption of their consciousness to continue, that will be a nightmare for us who can't permit the corrupting of souls that is happening, like what has been. And I have seen the need to band together in community and actually speak truth. And what I know from my own experience is that the telling of truth is challenging, because generally speaking, it involves more than just our own tale to tell it. And many people don't want their side of the story shared because it doesn't necessarily paint them well, or they don't know how you'll paint them in your story that includes them. So I believe that we need to create safer community opportunities where we can come together and share the truth without blaming, complaining, or justifying as victims do in a culture that has encouraged victimhood, where we bond through trauma and drama more than we do through our dreams and creativity. But I remember a man once stood before a crowd and declared, "I have a dream." He did not say, "I have a goal. I have an idea." He said, "I have a dream," because that is how it would seem that we actually inspire others to see what we can see in our own heart, which is what I hope you can do with what I am doing my best to share with you now, which is the rallying of troops without the military connection, meaning to be involved in it, yet the law has the military as the W, where the M of maritime admiralty law is flipped upside down into the waters, which is the current sea that we are sailing on, fiats being that which is issued, fiat currency being the connection I am making using a different analogy. But here, now, this is where we can band together. This is where we can actually start to share our tales without pointing fingers and not recognizing the three pointing back at me when I point at you. 6-6, I pass right there. It is time for us to actually dare to take personal responsibility. Yes, a lot of crazy things have happened to us all, some more than others, and I'm sorry for it all. Me and B, right there, you see on the license plate opposite to me as I drive or travel through these waters, these lands instead, not waters at all. Though if I drive, that is to imply I am conducting commercial activity, when that is not the truth, for there is no profit being made from this route that I travel. Though if you take the F in profit and make it a PH, that's fat indeed. Woo-hoo-hoo, just playing. But then I would say, hey, If we will not dare to be the prophets of our own reality and call others to be creators too, then we will see they just be the reactors to the drama, trauma, and crime of not using our mind in alignment with our heart, which is how we start to call our power back present, which is what it means to be empowered. Empowerment is self-power of the mind that aligns with the heart. That is the ultimate union or marriage that needs to take place, lest we be marred by the past or the future that take us out of the now where all our power exists. For it is power to create that we must wield responsibly. So, all of this is to say that I am looking to do things in a new way, and I will be sharing more of this as I speak privately to a few who want to be part of the change we seek in this realm. Realm being real magic, and where it takes place is these here parts, not just where I can see, for you can see me, and therefore we are connected. The interconnection, the internet, was meant to make us feel more connected. I have a long story I will share a different day about how my online identity became more important to me than my actual life. And that is what I believe has occurred collectively, culturally, in the cult you rally with BS belief systems that we have all been buying because that was what we were collectively sold by ones that we thought we could trust, authorities. But the author I tie my identity to is mine own hand and pen, for it is the hand, head, and heart that we must start to bring back into the now in order to actually be the change we seek in this world. Not the www.url, but this beautiful world that we live in that is green and natural. Because if we actually get back to nature, we start to care about nature. And when we care about something, we will put in energy in order to complete it, such as what I did with Father Goose and narrating it and then editing it. It took, I can't even count the number of hours. I wish not to, for it was a lot. And yet I did it because I love the son of the man who wrote it. And it's also an important tale for us all to hear. So, I'm glad that I did it, and I stuck with it because I cared enough to complete that which I said I would do, as what we must do now. So, I hope this message inspires you to hit that notification button and subscribe to this channel when I'm going to put out a call for those who wish to be part of the change, that see the need to actually deal with the emotions rather than just the mental health. Because in truth, the mind is a trap that we can get stuck in. But ordering a cage, bringing order to a cage, means that if you are still inside of the cage, you are still trapped. You've just got it more ordered where you're in there. But if we actually can bring ourselves into the heart, that's when we can start to see the cage and what's in the cage from a different perspective that allows us to take more of that madness, that chaos and clutter out of the cage, so it no longer needs to be there to be put into order. You see? This is what I believe. My BS. You can take it or leave it. You've got the option. But if you like this message, please show me, and also leave a comment down below to let me know that you are ready to stay tuned, and you also are willing to share your story in a private format for the benefit of others, not just the telling of your tale, which both matter, and you matter, absolutely. It's just one of the realizations that I had after finally writing this book, where I tell my story and all of the times where the wind was taken out of my sail because I overshared before it was time, before I had done that what I was trying, and therefore lost the energy to complete the task that I was asked to do, not by anyone outside of me, but I committed to and got the drop. It was to be called fully committed, and then thought, oh crap. But I did it. And one day you will be able to say the same thing about that which you put your mind, heart, and hand to. And I believe that what is required is the restoration of our communities, actual communities. For the online ones can't be there for us if we get taken out of our real communities and put into new communities. And the ones that are in the virtual community we got disconnected from, crushed barn right there. They can't help us, which was what I experienced when I got locked up. And those that I knew that were actually in my real life were advised by medical professionals that I needed to be in there, that I needed to be medicated, that I needed things that I knew that I didn't need. I was just going through an identity crisis and a recalibration that wasn't comfortable for anyone. Some actually called it spiritual warfare. I say at 11:11 in this message. It's a new beginning because we're going to talk about these things. Ireland Road, Ireland is very significant in all of this, as is Canada, as is every single country in this world, realizing each of them have been incorporated. And we must decorporate them so that the corpse no longer orates for the men and women that live within the realms of reality that is real. And this is how we heal. I believe. My BS, take it or leave it, like I always say. But in the end, you choose for yourself. And if you don't like what I say, I wonder why you're still listening today. But beyond that, I ask why. What don't you like? Actually go beyond the distaste that occurs when cognitive dissonance shows up in your realm, in your reality, in your mind, in your heart, when it no longer aligns to what you stood for previously and it competes. Ask yourself where that which is already in you came from. Because we have inherited a lot of prejudice, which the book that Muhammad Ali and another man wrote, talking about prejudice, actually calls it prejudging, and it is true. I'll be bringing more of that type of message to you soon. But for now, I will simply bid you adieu and say thank you for tuning in this day. Every day, I wish you well. I send you blessings, and I hope you know the blessing you are to the realms that you govern, which are your own. Peace.